your show. We're talking about dicks at some point, I think.
I mean, it always comes up eventually.
You know, dicks always do come up.
Yeah.
I just literally got off a 3-hour stream, and dicks came up in every hour, I would say, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
of
dicks be
course.
coming up, dude. That's all they do is they
Yeah.
come
all
up.
they
You know
do.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they
Look
get
at
bigger.
Jeff
They earn
Bezos
the
and his
flag.
big dick rocket the other day. Did you see that?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Where did
Yeah,
that thing?
that's
Where did
so-
that go?
Look,
Where did,
look at the filming. Look what they're doing. They're doing this.
yeah, things going up and down.
This
like
is
it's
how they
jacking.
film it, right? It's literally a big jerking dick.
Oh, it looks like it.
100%.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of the memes of like Dr. Evil with the awesome powers and stuff.
Yeah.
I find that shit very funny. Very funny.
Just
Look at that thing. Look at
So
that thing
where-
go.
That is crazy. So where's that ship going? It ain't going to space.
Nowhere. No
right?
one's on it. Nobody goes to space. No one's ever been on a rocket ship. It's all bullshit.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I could dig
Wait,
that.
what about the Challenger astronauts, right? Is that your next question?
Yeah, pretty.
Did I just read your fucking minds?
Got it. Yeah.
What if I told you they were all alive and they're all professors at universities? You'd say you're fucking crazy. But here they are. They all have. We found 6 of the 7. They have identical twins that have the same name, same birthday. No record of them being born as twins. And they sound the same. They look the same. They act the same. And none of them showed up at their siblings' funerals.
See, this is tough for me because that's a Chinese guy and they all look the same. That's a
I'm
black
with
guy,
you.
they all
I'm
look
with you on that. That's racist, but I'm in. I'm racist. And then you got a black guy too, so you got to
Yeah.
keep those 2 out.
That's
You know,
tough. That's tough.
This
Hold
guy-
on. So you're saying they all have twins?
That's what they're saying. What are the fucking odds of that? Well, NASA likes twins because they could look at the bone density and compare. You know, that's bullshit. I'll give it to them. If you're twin, like you have brothers and sisters, you're close to them. But if you had a twin, you're even closer. What are the chances none of these would show up at the funeral of their sibling? The chances 0. Deal with it. This guy, I think it was this guy or this guy, but Dick Scobie, he had a company.
TikTok, baby.
He had a
I
company
knew it'd
called
come up.
Cows and Trees or something like that. And you go to his website. We found his website, and it was literally a cow, an animation of a cow taking off like a rocket with smoke coming out of its ass, doing this loop-de-loop, leaving the same pattern in the sky. You know, like a crazy, you know, like literally looked like the Challenger. And then we picked it up. We started making videos on it. Bam, website disappeared, company disappeared.
Damn, dude. So let me ask you, where does that the information about like the twins and all, like who releases that? It's just like independent researchers.
Independent researchers, like real researchers, like we're the real reporters. Like reporters on TV, they're not reporters; they're script readers. They're fed. You know, you've seen the
I
clips
won't argue
where
with that.
all of the news and all across the country and the world, they're all reading the same exact
same thing
lines,
over and
same
over
exact
again.
lines.
Right.
They're not news reporters; they're script sellout script readers.
So,
But like,
so
just to
hold on.
be, hang on, Harris, just to be
Okay.
like an asshole, couldn't I myself just like put this picture together and then like leak it onto like Flat Earth Reddit and be like, look, guys, they all had twins. Like,
Good one. So we've actually, people have gone and found them and talked to them.
no way.
Yeah. So some of them, and they deny it, but they're very, very shaky. But this one, a lot of people have a lot of controversy with this one. They're like, well, her skin's darker and ever. Well, there's ways to lighten your skin. Look at Michael Jackson. But there's a speech that she did, La Resnick, when she was an astronaut, and then she's I believe a Yale law professor. She was doing a speech, same hand gestures, same dimples, same voice, same gestures. There is 0% chance that it's not the exact same person. Okay, so that's all I got to say about that.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Harris, you were going to say something there.
I-
I interrupted you.
And let me ask you a question: if you
so
didn't
what
know
you're
who
saying-
these guys were, did they just win the lottery?
Yeah.
No.
I know who those guys are.
I said it. I said it the wrong way. I said it the wrong way. I totally screwed it. Did they just do the most amazing thing ever that no man has ever done before, or did they just get told that their dog was shot? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a picture of all the lunar astronauts, quote unquote, all
Yeah.
sad at the press conference.
Because they can't lie to the camera. And recently, Did you see on Conan O'Brien, they had Buzz Aldrin on, and Conan's like, Buzz, I remember seeing you land on the moon on TV. He goes, no, you didn't. And he's like, what do you mean I didn't? He goes, you saw an animation. We didn't have any TV cameras up there. You saw an animation. So they're backpedaling. We call it moving the globe post, because every time we expose
the globe post,
they move the globe post farther back. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, the high priest of scientism, he says, well, people say, well, you can see you flying an airplane, you can see the curve. And then we show how you can't see the curve from there. Like, well, you have to go in a MiG fighter. And they showed a MiG fighter, at 70,000 feet. And you see the curve, but one of the cameras wasn't a fisheye lens or wasn't looking through a curved glass. And we see a horizon at eye level. And so like, well, you can't see the curve at that. You have to go up like 120,000 feet. And we're like, how friggin' high do you want to go? And so they're like, Felix Baumgartner or whatever his name is. Every time I screw up his name, people just fucking jump down my throat.
I don't give a shit. Never heard of the guy.
Yeah. So
How dare you?
He was the Red Bull. You've heard of him, the guy that did the Red Bull space jump. This guy.
Oh yeah.
Jumped out, and they're like, he saw the curve of the Earth, and we showed how this is a fisheye lens. He did 2 jumps before this practice that didn't use GoPro cameras, and the horizon was at eye level. But inside the capsule, there's a camera looking forward over his head. And when he opens the door, you can see the horizon. It's straight and level and at eye level. And when he opened the door, when he was getting in, you can see the horizon on the runway at the same exact level. He goes up 127,000 feet and the horizon didn't drop. Do you know how far the horizon should be down from that height? It's ridiculous. But
I actually don't. Is there?
I'll show you. This is
how high you
New
gotta
Mexico. Go. We zoomed in. We can see this little river here. This is all New Mexico. Did you know New Mexico covered a quarter of the planet?
I'm still seeing the Red Bull guy on my screen.
Yeah. No, you see him right here. The planet here.
Oh, sorry.
All of this is New Mexico.
So what part of New Mexico?
It's just all new. It's New Mexico.
But what part?
I don't know.
New Mexico's pretty big.
West, south.
Yeah, but hold on. If you zoomed in enough, you know what lake that is. So what lake?
Yeah, I don't know personally because
So then, how could you say that?
Because we looked into it. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. This is old. This is like 5 years old. So and we have other shots where it's flat and stationary. Right. I mean, when you look from 120,000 feet, this is what it looks like. This is 120,000 feet.
Could they just be lying about how high up they are?
Well, how friggin' high do you want to go? I mean, how much do they have to lie? I don't think anyone's gotten really much higher than that ever for any reason whatsoever. But there is a curvature formula, and it works for the first 1,000 miles easy. After that, it kind of gets distorted, but not our formula, their formula. So at 242, at 39,000 feet, according to Globe Math, the horizon should be 242 miles away. Okay. So if you're on the ground and you went straight out 242 miles, there would be a 39,050 foot drop, 39,050 feet. But you're already at 39,000 feet. So the drop from this airplane, the horizon on both sides of the plane should be 78,000 feet below them. 78,000 feet is higher than a friggin' MiG fighter flies, right? 78,000 feet below them. It's higher. It's so high. But if you go on an airplane, look out the left window, look out the right window, you'll see the horizon at eye level. Draw a line. It goes right through your eyes. It's at eye level because we live on a flat, stationary plane. And as you go up, the horizon doesn't drop. If you were on a ball, it would drop as you go up. Mm.
So do you believe there's like an edge, like a end of the Earth?
Good.
It's a mountain range, right?
Good question.
By the way, what's at the end?
By the way, every question you ask is pre-programmed by Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie. It's pre-programmed.
How dare
I
you?
ask some questions just to break it up real quick? Can I ask
you can, but wait, let's he asked a question and remember your question. We'll just do one question at a time and we'll blow through them.
Okay.
So here's the thing. When you think of the flat Earth, you're like, what they've programmed you to believe that the flat Earth is something that it's not. We're not a disc floating in space. Like if you Google flat Earth, you're gonna end up seeing this picture. This is from like the Flat Earth Society. Obama. What's that?
Right. In my eyes, I mean, like I said, I'm not a flat Earth guy, but whenever I pictured someone who thought flat Earth, I thought it was like a rectangle,
like the map.
Like a map.
Like you're looking at a map,
Yeah,
like a paper
like a
map.
Like
Yeah.
exactly
When you
like a
Google
map.
flat Earth, you see pictures like this. This is not what flat Earth is. If this is what flat Earth was, I would think flat Earthers were insane because this is ridiculous. This is not what we're not a disc
on that-
floating in space.
That infinite flat plane,
So,
right? That's what
we're
you're
the-
talking about.
We're the basement of the universe is the way I describe it. So if we're the basement of the universe, we live in like
Damn.
there's hills and valleys and stuff. Like, so if you were out in wherever in the hills, whatever, and it rained really hard, would a puddle form at the top of a hill or at the bottom of the hill?
Bottom of the hill.
Very easy. And the bottom,
That's an
it
easy
fills
question.
in the lowest
Hill had
area.
a little dip
It fills in the lowest area. And so let's say we made a lake or a pond or, where is the edge of the lake? It's where the land is higher than the surface of the water. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat. So where is the edge of the lake? It's where the land is just consistently higher than the water. It's the container of the water. Large bodies of water need a container. Well, we live here in what I call the Earth Pond. And all of the islands, continents, are surrounded by water, but all of the water is surrounded by its container. That container is Antarctica. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Did they teach you that in school? No, look it up. It is. It's the highest land on Earth. It's the container of our world. So if you got to the edge of the lake, any lake, can you fall off? No. You step up onto the land.
So,
What's
hold
out?
on.
Hang on,
have a
I got.
question. Yeah, that's your question, Richie. That's your
Yeah, I
question.
would like to. So I've actually seen this before, and I get it. I like it actually because
I think
personally,
kind of.
I'm late to the trends on a lot of things, and I just finished Game of Thrones. I know I'm like 15 years late, whatever.
By the way, that entire series was made to make from the little midget going, I want to piss off the end of the world.
Right?
That entire series was made for that line.
Worth
to make
it.
you think of the stupid ice wall. But
So what I'm saying is like I always thought maybe it was possible we lived in like below the wall or above the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's not a wall.
Well, we'll call it the mountain range.
It's the shoreline.
The shoreline
of our world.
My question is, can you go back to that picture of the lake of the earth or whatever?
The world pond, if you
World
will.
Pond, sorry.
It's
so
right.
no, I want to use the proper.
You better apologize
Terminology.
anytime you ask me
Terminology is
anything.
important.
I love dude. I'm a huge terminology guy.
Right.
I love
World
it.
Pond.
So
World Pond.
if you chartered a boat
Mm.
and went around the North Pole, and
the
then
North Pole.
yes, and then
That's
the
in the
South,
center here. North
and
Pole's
then-
right here.
right? So the center of the disc, and then you took your boat and went around the South Pole. Wouldn't it take like 5,000 times longer to go around the South Pole?
Yes.
So
Have
why
they
don't
done
you do
that?
it?
No.
Le's
Let me
done
tell
it.
you- Let me tell
Nobody's
one
done
person
that.
has done it. Hold on. One person has done it. So they tell us that Antarctica is this continent at the bottom of the ball. There's no pictures of Antarctica from space or from satellites, and they just came out with this new topographical map, but there's like a missing hole, right? Because they can't wrap it all together. But they tell us the circumference of Antarctica is about 13,000 miles. Here's how we could end this flat Earth debate forever, put it to sleep, no problem. You get a whole bunch of people. You go from Santiago over here to the base, you got two big airplanes, DC-10, 747s, whatever you got. And then you fill them with people from your podcast, me, Neil deGrasse Tyson, professors, right? Everybody. You got everyone on these planes. One plane, you fly about 1,000 feet in the air and you just follow the coastline. You just stay, a quarter mile from the coast all the way around. 7,000 miles later, 6,500 miles later, both planes would meet over here. Done.
Right.
But the problem is the Earth isn't a ball, because if it was, we'd all be dead. And you can't do it because it's much longer. So the last person to do that is Captain Cook. And he took him 3.5 years. He went over 65,000 or 60,000 miles. 3.5 years. It took him 60,000 miles. Now the equator, which is right here, is only 24,000. So on a ball, that's the biggest circle. And as you get down to the bottom of the ball, everything gets smaller. So it could be 13,000 miles, 60,000 miles. So exactly what you said is exactly what happens. Here's the problem. People do circumnavigate the world. Okay. Millions and billions probably by now have circumnavigated east and west. 0 have gone south. 0.
The shit view though. Probably.
What's that?
North Pole and South Pole, probably not the greatest to look at.
Oh my God, the people go for sightseeing tours to Antarctica, but it's cost so much friggin' money. They don't want you seeing it, and what they show you is nonsense. But here's how it works. Here's our North Pole. I got a big magnet here. the compass needle is pointing to the north. So I'm trying to push this magnet west, but west is a circle because that needle west is this way around because that needle needs to point towards the north. So magnets, compasses only work on a flat earth. So now I'm pushing it east. Again, east is a circle. All of these circles on this map are east and west, depending on which direction you're going, right? So if I didn't turn, like I'm going to dead wreck in west, or I'm not going to correct. I'm not going to follow the compass. I'm just going to go straight. And as soon as I start going straight, as soon as I don't turn, I'm heading south. South is every direction away from the center.
On a flat earth.
On a flat earth, correct. East and west are circles on a globe too, right? If you're a mile from the North Pole on a globe and you try to head west, your compass has to always point towards the center, and you're going to walk 3.14 miles and you come right back to where you started from, and you're heading dead east the whole time or dead west the whole time. That doesn't prove that the earth is flat, except south of the equator on a globe, you wouldn't connect to the north. You wouldn't correct to the north. You'd correct to the south because you'd have to correct to the south. But guess what? We've talked to Navy captains, cargo ships. They're saying when they're trying to dead wreck in east or west in the southern oceans, they're always correcting to the north.
I mean, I don't know enough about current and wind and shit
that's
like
okay.
That.
I don't even know what that means.
They always correct. Nobody has circumnavigated to the
south
to the south and come around. Now,
have you ever heard that theory that Antarctica is actually the ruins of like the ancient civilization of Atlantis, built the pyramids, all that shit?
I'm gonna give. Hopefully, I get your attention enough that you're willing to watch a very long video, right? I'm going to give it to you. You guys will have it. And then, and all I say is watch 10 minutes.
I tried to do this before and it freaked me out a little bit.
This one is going to blow your mind. I say, so listen to me, my channel, DITRH, it's the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. My videos are almost every one of them is under 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. I'm short video guy. I
listened to you on Race Wars podcast with Kurt Metzger.
That's a long time ago, man.
10 years ago, whatever it was. And I was like, this guy is nuts. What the fuck is he talking about? And then you plugged some video. It was called 300 Proofs the Earth's
200 Proofs by Eric Dubay.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'll humor this asshole.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally got 5 minutes in, I just shut it off. I was like, I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going on. So I can't disprove any of this. Everything I know is a lie. Everything I know is true. We live in a simulation. I lost it, dude.
It's absolutely true. So as I was saying, I say watch 10 minutes of this video, and then if you're still interested, watch 10 more minutes. And if you watch the second 10 minutes, you're like, all right, I'm going to watch the whole thing because it's 5 hours. Right? I've watched it 4 times now. Okay,
damn,
it's literally mind-blowing. I just put it up my channel not that long ago. It's got 300,000 views on it, and it's on hundreds of channels. Okay, it's on hundreds of channels. So where are we going? We're talking. So what's beyond this ice shore? Well, our sun circles around in here. That's how we have this melted pond. I'll explain seasons and how that works in a second. What's out here? Well, if this is the inner space, what would this be?
Outer space.
Outer space. Think of the world like your house. Your house is
usually
your entire world.
That's how I think of the world.
You live on the inner space, but if you went outside beyond the walls, that's the outer space. But if you weren't allowed to go to the doors or windows and you weren't allowed to see anything, you wouldn't know there was anything else. We're in a prison, and it's a prison for our mind, right? What if beyond Antarctica there was extra land, more land? More extra, another word for more, land,
extraterrestrial,
terrestrial, extra terra. Okay. So if somebody lived out here and they came here and then they went back, somebody out here could say, hey, guy wakes up in the morning, goes, hey, honey, extraterrestrial, I got to go abduct some guy and probe him over in Australia. And he flies out, he probes him, and then he comes back and he makes some time for dinner. So he's not coming from trillions of miles away. Trillions is ridiculous.
Are they keeping us in here then?
We don't know. Maybe the controllers live out here. I don't know.
Because if they have the technology to do like that David Fravor aircraft going from 0 to 1,000,000 in a second.
They probably have
they have more advanced.
They have advanced propulsion, like this whole burning of fossil fuels. Another
Who does Biden work for?
Biden doesn't work for anybody. Biden's just a freaking retard. Okay? So So they probably have anti-gravitic, technology, free energy technology. I guarantee they do, but they don't even need it because you can take a friggin' DC-10 and fly out here. This isn't that far. Look, from here to here, it would not. I mean, from Santiago to Australia is longer. Okay.
What's that break in the wall?
So this could be an opening that opens up at certain times of the year. These are uncharted waters out here. GPS will not let you go here. Okay. If you're using GPS, you'll never end up over here. And there's stories.
The S is not satellites, right? There's no such thing as satellites, I'm assuming.
GPS, ground positioning system.
Okay.
Right. Here's a map that was found in Hawaii, 10 centuries old from Japan, showing a few extra continents out here. What's up with that? Okay.
They were stupid.
Maybe. Well, is that your best globe proof?
No, but I mean,
then we're guessing like there's some other stuff.
What about that? What about that? I gotta ask. Everybody watched that stupid documentary on Netflix. What about that laser thing that failed? What's up with that?
Yeah. So that's called the Netflix Behind the Curve, which was a total hit piece. And what they did is it was done on purpose. They edited it. So the laser experiment was this. We had a canal. I think it was.
Wait, was that actually you?
I was involved in it. I wasn't there.
Oh, shit.
My co-host Jaron was there. It was the one that set it up. And it was a great experiment. We got big sheets of cardboard of plywood, and we had holes about this big drilled in them. And we used the canal to make sure they were all level. And if the earth is curved, the middle one should be higher than the two outer ones, and you shouldn't.
So you tried to recreate an experiment?
We tried to do an experiment.
Yeah, but which one?
I mean, the one you're saying. The
so
one
you're trying
from the
to
documentary
recreate
was him.
he's trying to recreate the Bedford level experiment?
No. See, the Bedford level is different because if you're shooting from one, if you're shooting what you could be aiming down a little bit, or you could be aiming up a little bit, and that'll get it off. But if you had these holes all the way around the earth, no, you can shoot the laser through two of them, but you couldn't shoot it through three of them because
they were far enough apart.
Well, yeah. Well, the measurements per mile is 8 inches for the first mile, and then it's 32 inches for the second mile. So there's plenty of there. But the problem was we had this expensive 5,000 watt laser, and we had a condenser because lasers spread out, and so we had this condenser, and it condensed it so much it melted. And so the laser broke before we could even do the experiment. And it's nighttime. Netflix is the one that, not Netflix, the people that were making this. They were filming it. They agreed to give us all of the footage. We're like, hey, you can come film us, but we want all the footage because doing these experiments, there's a lot going on. And it's like, wow, this is something off of our hands. They can do it. So we can't use the laser. So we're like, all right, hold the light. And we hold the light at the hole. And he's like, I don't see anything. And he hold it up. And he holds it up. He goes, yeah, now I see it. And Jaron goes, huh, that's interesting. Cut. That's where they cut it. Then he brings it back down again. And he goes, oh, I still see it. That didn't make the movie.
Yeah.
Everyone there. And now we that would lead to believe that there is no curvature, but we all agreed there's too many variables. There was flat earthers there and globers there. Everyone walked away going, the experiment proved nothing, even though it kind of proved the earth was flat. Left that out of the movie. We said, give us the footage. They're like, oh, no, we signed a deal with Netflix. We can't give it to you. So and we're in a lawsuit with them.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, good luck on that. I hope you guys win. That'd be
I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. It's like they're just dicks.
But you were just talking about how like the difference between like a mile is like 17 inches or whatever.
8 inches for the first mile. You have to square the miles because you can't say it's 8 inches per mile because that would be a ramp. Right. Because if you're on a ball,
and then I understand
it drops down. So you have to square the miles. Now now the Globers will say, well, that's a parabola. Yeah, it is. After 1,000 miles, it starts getting off whack. You don't need to go 1,000 miles. You can't see 1,000 miles. You can't see far enough. You really can't see that far at all. Here's an example. Hang on.
I did want to ask you a question right quick. So it's just based on that same thing you were just talking about.
Yeah.
So I used to work for the man, or we'll call him DirecTV. You know, those lying scumbags.
Yeah.
They fired me, so fuck them.
Yeah.
But so when I used to set up the dish, like you had to use like a stupid little thing and like point the dish in the right spot.
What did you point it at? What did they tell you to point it at?
It was like so many degrees this way and like so many degrees. You know, it had a little.
Could you be pointing it at a radio tower?
I don't believe so because it was very like the angle was like higher than like, you know, if you looked where you were pointing, there's nothing there. It was like straight up in the air.
So,
and they said if you were off by like 1 inch, it was like 1,000 miles by the time it got to wherever it was going.
Absolutely. We had that when we do our laser experiments for sure.
But every house, it had to be like a slightly different, because depending on where you were. So we were all pointing at the same thing. Like if I did a house in like Buffalo, I had to point it differently than if I did a house in Rochester.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So here's what,
so what was I pointing them at?
There are some whistle. I'll tell you what you're pointing at. You're pointing it at. So we believe that most people believe they call it the ionosphere, but we believe there's a dome above us. Okay, and that dome has some interesting properties. And there's been some whistleblowers that have told us that the dome is positively charged. The Earth is negatively charged, and they could I forget what they hit it with.
The dome made of like material?
Well, it's like it could be ice, it could be frozen oxygen, it could be glass. We don't know. We don't know.
This is a Men in Black scenario.
No,
we're in a locker somewhere.
So no. Well,
I like that.
That basically they're bouncing signals off a spot on the dome. They're sending a signal up, bouncing it off. You're catching that bounce. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, they said that the satellite moved in like a figure 8 pattern almost.
There is no figure 8
So you had
pattern.
to keep it in like this little area. If you went outside the area, you wouldn't get the signal.
Yeah, you're pointing it at something. Now there are balloons. You know that NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world, and they launch tens of thousands of satellites on balloons, but they don't really tell you about that. But the whole idea of satellites is the most idiotic, ridiculous thing ever. I mean, you've seen the images of, we have like, first they were saying there's 30,000 satellites, then they're changing it, 25,000 satellites. They don't know how many satellites are up there. This is what's supposedly going on, right? So, you know what a geostationary satellite, that you would be pointing it at a geostationary satellite, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's one that doesn't circle the globe.
Yeah, well, the one that
Earth, whatever.
One that follows the Earth, right? One that actually stays above the same land. So let's pretend this satellite here is a geostationary satellite. So it has to rotate as the Earth turns, it has to rotate with the Earth, because if the Earth rotated around, it would be moving. Or if it was going around the Earth, it's at the right height where its speed, it matches the Earth. So it just goes around, right? You with me?
Yeah.
That's what that sounds crazy. But you have to remember, the Earth is doing this. It's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. It's orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour. Funny number, right? It's speeding up and slowing down in that orbit throughout the year. It's chasing the sun at over 500,000 miles per hour. And somehow all of these satellites magically mirror all of those ridiculous speeds and angles and turns. Isn't
it kind of more like dumb luck? Like we just
it's the dumbest thing ever. It's not dumb luck. It's the dumbest. This is so confusing that you can't even process it. You're like, well, maybe they figured it out.
Do you believe in religion?
No, I'm not a religious person at all. Absolutely not. I was a pretty much full-on atheist before I discovered that the Earth was intelligently designed. And then once you realize the Earth is intelligently designed, you realize there's a creator. Who's that creator? Figure it out yourself. I have no idea.
So there's some kind of religion aspect to it.
No, absolutely. Religion is a dogma.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
creation.
Wait, hold on a second. Are you guys on a computer right now? You on a computer?
Yeah.
Adam, you on a computer?
Yeah.
Do you believe somebody made that computer, or that it was made by a random accident explosion?
I mean, someone made it, but I mean,
okay, somebody made
a random explosion. Yeah.
Well, here's the story.
We go back far enough, it did.
Here's the story of the world. Once upon a time, there was nothing, and then it exploded and created everything. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, but yeah, I'll give it to you. Then all of a sudden, all of the rocky bits started sticking together because of this magical force they call gravity, which is unproven theory, which is ridiculous. And they all started getting the bigger and bigger and bigger balls. But somehow all of the gases, all the helium, all the hydrogen decided to coalesce into bigger gas balls and leave a fucking vacuum in between.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm too dumb. I'm too dumb to understand.
No, you're not too dumb.
Why does shit fall when I drop it?
I'm going to explain that in a second. So you have a vacuum. You have gas balls burning in a vacuum. Gas balls, our sun gas balls holding on to Venus and Mercury and the Earth and Mars, and it's just holding on to all of these distant rocks somehow. But all of those rocks are holding onto their own moons, and the sun doesn't pull the moons away. It's the dumbest thing ever. You look at the 3-body problem, forget it. Okay, none of it makes any sense. So you want to go to gravity. Gravity is why do things go down? And the answer is because there's two answers, and they kind of both go together. The Earth, things are more dense. Like if I had a handful of ping pong balls and rocks and a helium balloon, and I held them over a pool and I dropped them, the helium balloon would go up, the ping pong ball and rocks would go down, the rocks would go to the bottom of the pool, and the helium and the ping pong balls would sit on the top of the pool. Okay. So why do they go down though? The buoyancy and density sort everything else out. Well, testably, provably,
I gotta come up with a question you don't have a slide for.
Dude, here's the answer. There's only a certain number of questions, and you don't.
Dude, you
have
got so many slides,
I'm
bro.
telling you. So the Earth has a negative. The Earth has a negative charge to it. It has a testable, measurable negative charge. The Earth doesn't move. Period. It doesn't move. Right. The dome has a positive charge. So it's a dielectric plane that we live on. And when you come off the Earth, there's electricity in the air. There's voltage in the air. There's 100 volts, 100 volts or 1,000 volts, 100 volts at 1 meter, and it goes up by 100 volts every meter. So there's all this voltage in the air, and the negative charge of the Earth says, hey, down is this way. It's a weak charge, just like they say gravity is a weak force. Well, the negative charge of the Earth is a weak force.
Yeah, it's more of a
and then it says
pull
down is this way. Everybody
push.
point down. Everyone, down is down. Okay. Australia, down is not up. Down is down. Australia's over there. Okay. Right. So everything goes down, and then buoyancy and density sort everything else out after that. And now, how can we test this hypothesis?
Is the moon round?
It looks round, doesn't it? But we'll talk about the moon. Let's just finish this. So here's this tinfoil triangle. We put a negative charge in it. As soon as that negative charge is stronger than the Earth's negative charge, it goes up. Is that defying gravity, or is it defying some other electrical magnetic charge of the Earth? Electricity and magnetism are the only true forces on Earth. All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you 4 moons, and quickly before the hand grabs them, tell me 2 of them are spheres. Is that one a sphere?
Yeah.
Well, kind of half a sphere. That's kind of how about this one? Is this one a sphere?
Looks like
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. What if I told you it was flat?
They look like them, yeah.
It looks like a sphere, but it's not.
It's a good paint job.
How about this one?
You could shade.
How about this one?
But can't we see like different sides of other planets? Like,
No, you can't. It's all bullshit. I'll
we
show you
only
what you
ever
see.
see the same side.
Yeah. So I lied. Only one of them's a ball.
Come
So
on,
it's all
now,
just
now
like
I can't believe
temperature.
anything you said.
Well, the reason I
You
lied
to
is
me
because
here.
when you get down to you figure it out after a while. So I keep you guessing this way. So there are no photos of Earth. There are no photos of other planets. This is what NASA shows you, and this is what the highest zoom lenses show you. Okay. Well,
What about the Mars rover and stuff?
The Mars rover.
Yeah,
Really?
there's like
You're
3
really
of them.
Come on,
there.
dude. That's you know he's got slides for
You
that.
really going
Don't
there.
ask
Yeah,
any
I'm sure he
questions.
does.
Don't ask any slide questions. I don't
Hold
want
on,
to
hold
hear
on.
I'm just saying, there's
Atmosphere.
proof. There's like photos and videos and
Yeah,
stuff.
but
I know
there's
like
not.
we
All that
doctored
shit
and
is fake.
There's
and everything, but
not,
what-
and I'm
but
not
what's
gonna
the
just say it's
point?
fake.
Why
I'm gonna
fake it?
show you how it's fake.
Why
Can't you say?
God damn it! I should have booked him for a 2-hour interview, dude.
We'll
This
go a
is
little
gonna
longer
take
if
so
you want. We'll go
long.
a little longer if you want. But you have to let me answer because we're getting ahead. So, and I'm
Okay.
pretty quick at handing the ball back. You're asking a question, I'm gonna fucking answer it. All right.
That's
Obviously.
what I'm talking about.
I'm
I appreciate that too, because
Yeah.
I know you got your whole spiel
All
all.
right. So
signed
here's
out
a
here.
picture from NASA's website from Mars. And you could tell it's from Mars because they got a little selfie, right? This came out. It was in like it was in National Geographic. Well, here's a picture from Greenland.
So for the people
you
listening,
see
they're the
any
exact
similarities?
the exact same picture.
Oh, you know, I keep forgetting
yeah.
we're talking to.
It's all
You're
good.
good. You're good.
Right,
You're good.
yeah.
You know what?
Basically,
I'll
they
give. I'll
photoshopped a
put
little
this.
piece of
I'll
the
put
rover.
this on. I'll put this on my YouTube channel. I'll give you a link. You can link it below the video if anybody wants to go and see what this crazy guy's talking about. All right. This is the same shot. They just blurred out the clouds, put a sepia tone on it, and that's what they're showing you as Mars. They're busted right there. We also somehow on Google Earth on Devon Island, we found the Mars, the rover and the NASA truck, and there's pictures of it on Google Earth.
That's pretty.
And they're like, well,
sloppy
that's where
job.
we're training. You know, why are they going all the way up to Greenland, okay, to train? Right? Why are they doing that? But when here, I'm showing you now, and I encourage anyone to go look at it. What I'm showing you is a video of us landing that rover on the moon the other day or a couple months ago that has the helicopter on it. What I'm showing you now is the only proof that we landed something on Mars, right? And what I'm showing you, I'll tell you that Cartman and Kyle and the rest of the gang are laughing at this.
Stan.
They're laughing at
Butters.
this. They're like,
Stan Marsh.
this is the dumbest. This is the only proof.
Yeah, I watched this.
Yeah,
It looks like my Xbox.
No, it doesn't. Don't insult your Xbox.
Dude,
like
I thought
it looks
yo,
like my Atari.
I thought I was watching this live and everyone was cheering when they landed, and I was cheering. I was like, "We did it, boys! We did it!" I sent it on Snapchat, and it was a replay. It was a rerun.
But what are you cheering at? Look at this. This is a movie production.
Mars, man.
This is not Mars. This is bullshit.
Well, that's like a animation, but look at them working hard right now.
Yeah, those guys all sitting there with their.
Look at those people with their double masks on, suffocating to death. Oh, come on. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
And then when I'm not going to even wait for it to land. Look at this freaking thing. Also, they tell us the atmosphere on Mars is 1% of Earth. So we've had people skydive like Felix Baumgarten. And when you jump from 80,000, 100,000 feet, your parachute won't even open to like 50 or 60,000 feet. Okay. Helicopters can't fly to the top of Mount Everest because the air is too thin. All right. This helicopter that they flew on Mars and this parachute that this thing parachuted down in would be like at 150,000 feet. We can't even get a helium balloon up to 150,000 feet. Right. But somehow they got a helicopter and a parachute to work in that thin atmosphere. They lie so horribly, put it right in front of our faces. And people like, nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care, as George Carlin would say. Okay, look, they're clapping, they're jumping. This has to be real. Look at this. This is real.
I thought it was. Yeah.
This is a bunch of shills and a bunch of kids fresh out of space camp. This is what Mars really looks like when you take today's consumer optics, which have outgrown their lies.
Looks like the sun.
It looks like, what is the sun? So
a fire.
Have you ever looked at, have you ever heard of star in a jar? When they put sound waves.
Is that website where they sell you like Matthew McConaughey's cum? No,
no,
right.
no. So where they it showed little suns will appear in the water, little bursts of light from putting sound into water. Well, why does NASA talk about everything in space like it's the ocean, like ships and docking and the Sea of Tranquility, and all of it is nautical terms. But when you look at stars, this is the star Arcturus. Does that look like a burning ball of hydrogen at ridiculous distances away? We'll talk about distance in a second, right? Here's the star Capella, I think.
That's supposed to be like the shimmering from the atmosphere, right? Quote unquote.
Does this look like the shimmering from the atmosphere? Does this look like something that you don't even understand?
I don't even understand the atmosphere. Yeah.
Right. And so and they all have their own little personalities. So these things are orbs of energy. They're here within our Earth system. But let's talk about distance for a moment. Okay. Do you know that the closest star is 25 trillion miles away? The closest star, other than our sun.
The sun? Oh,
other than our sun. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. So if we look at our sun.
Wait, is that light years or
light years? Light years is just a distance light travels in a year. It goes 1,186,000 miles a second. And a light year is that for a year, the number of seconds in a year. So
okay.
So they tell us our sun is giant and our Earth is a little tiny dot next to it, right? So imagine if the sun was just a mile over your head, just for modeling purposes. You're not going to burn up, okay? You looked up in the sky, it fills the entire sky. Then we move it to where they say it is. You guys know how far the sun is?
93 million miles away.
What?
93 million miles away.
93 million. Very good. So you move it, it fills up the whole sky. You move it away and it gets smaller due to perspective, right? So it goes from filling the entire sky to the size of a nickel or a quarter held at arm's length, right? That's how you see the sun. It's just a small circle in the sky. If you double the distance, that's going to get smaller. Some people say it'll be half the size. I say it'll be smaller, but let's just be safe. 24 times farther its angular size would be too small to see. Period. Angular size is, like,
aren't those like stars way bigger than our sun though?
Hang on. This is a very good question. I'm going right there. So follow, and you're smart enough because this is really easy. So 24.
You overestimate us, brother.
three times the distance that the sun is. You couldn't see it, but I'm just going to be super safe and say 24 times farther. 24 times farther is 3 light hours. 3 light hours. It's 2 or 3 light hours. Let's say it's 3 light hours. That's fine. Okay.
Sure.
So, our North Star Polaris, they say, is 46 times bigger than our sun. Well, at 3 light hours, you couldn't see our sun. So if Polaris is 46 times, it's almost like 48, which would be 2 days. 2 days times 3 hours, 6 light days away, you could not see Polaris. Scientifically, we can prove with the size that they tell us Polaris is, at 6 light days away, we'll round up to a week, a light week away, you could not see it. Magnitudes over. They tell us Polaris is 433 light years away. Years. These numbers are so big, your minds melt and you have no idea. You just give up and you get confused and you go, oh, I'll just leave it to the guy in the bow tie who's a liar. He's a failed.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of lost you. Can we move on to like lava and natural gas?
Hang on.
Yeah, we can move on to lava.
Like, how do you explain that?
I didn't know there was light weeks and days.
Well, a light day, there's
light years.
light days in a light year.
There's got to be light minutes.
I just never heard it before.
There's light seconds. 1,186,000 miles. Okay. And the fact that you can't, they don't teach you to think in school, right? That's why people like, I'm just talking simple things here. Here, I'll make it simple for you. If I was to pay you guys $1 every second nonstop, how long until you had $1 trillion? 1 trillion. One trillion.
Probably like a couple days, right?
A couple days, close.
No,
how much am I getting paid?
How long until you have $1 trillion? I pay you $1 a second. 1, 2,
1 trillion seconds.
Or 1 trillion seconds. Don't get off the computer. Use your mind, Adam.
I have no idea.
Okay, the answer
wrong with you?
Peaches got the right answer.
Take a guess.
It was like going 60 miles per hour.
If you guess it within a day, I'll give you a Bitcoin. Ready? Take a guess. Come on, for a Bitcoin.
5 days.
5 days.
I missed it.
How long is 1 trillion seconds?
I want to say like 10 years.
10 years. Very close. 31,000 years.
You were not close at all.
That's what I thought.
31,000 years. Just think about that.
I wanted to say 1,000.
1 fucking trillion seconds is longer than your family history 1,000 times over. Okay?
Sure.
Maybe.
It's ridiculous. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. Think about this. This is they purposely give you these giant numbers so your mind melts and you don't ever think about it. You don't live on a spinning ball moving ridiculous speeds. Next year, same night, next year, we're 4.5 billion miles from 4.5 billion miles from where we were today. But you look up and the stars will be exactly the same in the exact same place. How the fuck is that possible?
Couldn't it just be like a scale thing, like how they say, like the pyramids line up with the stars, like every like 70,000 years? So Egypt was either built like 70,000 or 140,000 or 100. Like, couldn't it be something like that?
No.
Like
they
we're actually way farther away than we thought.
The pyramid lines up with Polaris right now, and they said 40,000 years ago it lined up with another star. So we just happened.
I thought 40,000 years ago.
We just happened to live in the time where it lined up with the other star. No one has any record of it lining up.
All right, before. I want to know for real, like where the pyramid. Do you know where the pyramids actually came from?
No one, no. And then it wasn't the Egyptians. When they say that's all nonsense, they're hiding our history. You guys ever heard of Tartaria?
I think
Tartaria was
the massive civilization, right?
Civilization here in the 1800s. Our entire friggin' history is a lie. We are not at the peak of civilization. We're probably not even one step away from idiocracy at this point.
The 1800s?
The 1800s was an advanced worldwide civilization. But then a cataclysm happened, mud flood, not what it was.
Like 200 years ago.
150.
Done.
I interviewed
Japan's culture is older than that.
I interviewed that's the story. All right. I interviewed a woman from 102 years old back in February 2020, and she had such a great memory when she was a child. I asked her what she was taught in school in the 1920s in elementary school, and I'd never mentioned flat Earth to her, and she goes, "They taught me that the Earth was flat." I said, "What did they teach you about the Earth?" She goes, "They taught me the Earth was flat," and I told her the whole story about it. Brought her to tears. Video went viral. And I said to everybody, we don't have much time. We need to go to old age homes and interview centenarians, people over 100 years old. And literally,
that's an awesome word.
Literally, centenarians.
Centenarian, dude, that would be a great band
name. And then literally the next week, they shut down all old age homes. Said nobody can go there. COVID. Okay, nobody can go there. Okay.
Wait, so you caused the lockdowns?
Very possible. Very
what the
possible.
fuck, Dave?
Can't rule it out. Can't rule it out.
Hell?
I had concert tickets I didn't get to use, asshole.
I know. I'm sorry about that. What concert? What concert was it?
Rage Against the Machine.
Nice.
Dude,
They're great in concert.
Where
are you guys?
I wouldn't know.
Are you on the East Coast or
Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo.
Buffalo. All right. You asked about lava. You want to go to lava?
Or should we ask the what now question?
Yeah. Well, let me. I want to show you. I made an app that shows you how to learn about flat Earth if you're interested in learning about flat Earth. But I'll quickly do lava. So they tell us that the center of the Earth is molten lava and all these layers and all of this crap. Well, you know, the deepest hole ever dug is called the Great Borehole in it was in Russia.
That's what I call my wife.
It got so deep that the pressure, it couldn't take it, and it was too hot and shit like that.
And they could, well, basically they can't get below just short of 8 miles, 7 3/4 miles, whatever. So the deepest hole ever dug was 8 miles, short of 8 miles. And they used ground penetrating radar as they dug to see what they're going to hit next. And they were wrong every step of the way. So for the first 8 miles, they couldn't predict what they were going to hit next. But for the next 4,000 miles, they know what's down there for sure. Okay. So that's bullshit. Okay. So what is lava? Well, as I said earlier, the only true
got slides, bro. I told you
the only true forces are electricity and magnetism. Well, when you put, these are ceramic blocks, when you put high voltage through them, what happens to the friggin' rocks? They turn into lava. Okay. So lava doesn't come out of cone-shaped volcanoes like you see on TV. There's no cone-shaped volcanoes. Okay. There's lava tubes. There's lava tubes going through. Okay. The Earth is a capacitor. The sun and the moon are the anode and the cathode and anode. And there's all of this electricity in the Earth. And these, basically just think of it as current going through the Earth, and it makes these lava tubes, and the lava moves around through the Earth. It's all electrical. It's not,
So do we have
thermal
deep underground military bases?
We do, all over the place, more than you know. There's probably civilizations underneath us.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I want to know.
But we're not on a spinning ball flying through an infinite space vacuum. That's ridiculous.
I never said we were, homie.
Yeah. No worries. Let me share my screen here and show you this. This is for people that want to learn about the what the flat Earth is. So, because if you Google flat Earth, you're going to end up at the Flat Earth Society, which Obama plugged 6 times during his. So
we're getting propaganda on top of propaganda.
All nonsense. So let me just show you. We live in the world pond. Okay. I'm going to show you how seasons work. And once you understand this, then you're going to be like, oh, fuck. Right. The Earth isn't a ball. So we have 3 circles here. The inner circle is the Tropic of Cancer. I'm sure you've heard that. The outer circle is the Tropic of Capricorn. And the middle line, which is harder to see, the red line, is the equator. Well, the sun, you see it's about halfway between the Tropic of Cancer and the equator. It circles around. If I speed it up, it goes around once a day. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. And you can see it's not pinned to the hour hand because we're in fake daylight savings time right now. So they're lying to us about the time to literally throw off our body clocks.
That's true.
Yeah. So check this out.
That's
the sun. If you look, it's catching up to the moon.
Fuck daylight savings time.
It will lap the moon. Yeah. You know what daylight savings is? It's like having a blanket.
Bullshit.
You're like, hey, you know what? My feet are cold, so I'm going to cut a foot off the top of the blanket, sew it to the bottom of the blanket so my feet could be warmer. Okay. It's the dumbest thing ever. As you see, the sun is catching up to the moon. And it will lap the moon every 28 days.
So is that when an eclipse happens?
So, well, eclipse happens when it hits a nodal point, and we can get to eclipses next if you want.
He's got slides.
I've got slides,
dude.
Hell yeah.
I've got slides.
So
I was just curious if that's when it happened.
Yeah, well, it does happen whenever there's a new moon, when a solar eclipse. But The moon it keeps track of the weeks and the months. Months used to be called moons, and there used to be 13 of them of 28 days, but they hijacked that also. Slow it down, turn the sky, the sun, not the sun, the stars on. The stars are doing the same thing. They spin around, they're fixed in their position, and they lap the sun only once a year. Think about that. They lap it only once a year, so they're slightly outrunning the sun. So right now, the sun is moving out of Cancer and into Leo. And it'll work its way through Leo over the next month and move on. And then the whole thing will reset after a year. So why am I showing you all this? I'm showing you this because the sun migrates in between the two tropics, 6 months out, 6 months in. So we just passed the peak of our inner northern summer when the sun was over the Tropic of Cancer. And now it's working its way out. I'll jump it forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months forward. And it goes all the way out to... Well, I went a little too far. Let me go back. All right. So the sun, if I bring it back to, whoops, look at me hitting all kinds of buttons.
Oh, look at that!
Oh,
shit. That's a crazy slot. What question?
Right, so
hold on. Let me just finish this real quick. So as when am I? April, May, June. So in June, it's over the Tropic of Cancer, and that's when we have our summer. If you follow that line around, look, it goes right over Miami, Mexico, Southern California. It's friggin' hot there. That's because the sun is close. It's over their heads. It's not far away. But Australia is having their summer. I mean, having their winter. 'Cause the sun is far away. But if I move the sun to November, December, when it's out over the Tropic of Cancer, well, we're having our winter. Up here in the north, in Buffalo, it's fucking cold because the sun is far away from us. Australia is going to have their summer at the same time because it goes right over them. Imagine it's Buffalo. It's December. Two of us are sitting outside 15, 20 feet apart.
How's the Bills playoff prospects looking?
What the hell are we doing sitting outside? It's fucking cold. Then somebody comes over. Somebody comes over to one of us and holds a heat lamp over our heads. Okay. And so over one of my, so the person underneath the heat lamp is like, it's warm. They look up, the sun's high in the sky. Move it over to the other person. It's now lower in the sky. And that person's warm because it's over them. It's farther away from the other person. Winter, summer, winter, summer. That's how it works. All right. So real quick, and let me get out of the app. Here's the challenge. I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe. But here's the challenge.
How much is a Bitcoin nowadays?
It's like $33,000.
I think it's like 27 now.
Is it 27? That's why I'm offering 3. I was offering 2 before.
Tough day today.
Tough day, bud. Tough day.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'll take all of them. I'll take it all, man.
So check this out. Every day there's a new featured video. And I say you have to click this thumbnail, watch it every day for 2 weeks. Short ones during the week, longer ones on the weekends. And after that 2 weeks, if you still think the earth is a globe, send me 1 proof and you win the coins. But before you do, you have to hit this question mark button. And there come all of the questions. Hey, what about eclipses? What about gravity? What about seasons? What about ships over the horizon? If I
you should have showed us this first so we didn't ask all these stupid questions.
If I hit ships over the horizon, up comes a playlist that Google doesn't want you to see, right? These are videos that you won't be able to find. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's liberal media for you, bud.
Yeah, no kidding. The censorship is 1984. George Orwell is rolling over in his grave. Under the web button, bottom right, mud floods Tataria. Transcontinental railroads were not built. They were excavated. Okay. Our interview will be here under interviews. Okay.
Plug your YouTube channel again.
My YouTube channel is the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. It's just DITRH, the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. But again, it's also linked in the app. You hit the web button, short flat earth videos, DITRH. They're all linked in there. If you are a Bible believer or not a Bible believer, I highly recommend hitting this biblical flat earth and see how that stuff relates. It's mind blowing. Right? The video I was telling you about right here in the middle, the lost history of flat earth. This is a playlist. The first video is 5 hours. And that's the one that if you watch 10 minutes of it, you'll watch another 10 minutes. And after that, you will not turn it off. Right? Your head will explode and you'll lose all your friends because you're now a flat earther.
So I could tell we're kind of wrapping up here. I did have a couple of questions I want to
go ahead
real quick. Do you know the guy who punched Buzz Aldrin in the face?
Yeah, that's Bart Sabrell, and he is.
Is he your boy or
no? He's not. He
Oh,
believes that I believe that he was handed that information. He might believe
He's a
what
shill?
he's doing, but he's pretty much a shill.
Okay, I just want to know if you were friends with somebody who punched Buzz Aldrin in the face.
No,
that's
I'm
kind
not.
of what you think of the guy.
I
that's
interviewed
pretty
him.
sweet accolade.
I interviewed him.
That's a pretty dope accolade.
That's impressive on the resume.
Have you ever punched any astronauts in the face?
I have not. But I would if I saw one.
Given the chance, would you accept like a free ride in a spaceship?
Given the chance, would you let me turn you into a fairy princess? Because there's a greater chance of that happening. There is no space. Space doesn't exist.
I'm just saying, if somebody offered it to you, would you think they were just going to kill you?
No, it's not going to happen. No, we can prove the Earth is a globe by doing my my around Antarctica trip, right? And no,
what if they're like,
I agree.
So the scenario here is Bezos comes up to you. He's like, Dave, listen, you're fucking up my money. You're right. And I'm going to prove that it's right. You want to see the flat Earth? Come in my spaceship. Would you go with
There are no spaceships. There is no space race. Werner von Braun was the Nazi scientist that was brought over here, supposedly, he's just an actor, to run NASA. Well, Werner von Braun in 1957 wrote a book called Project Mars, right? About a group of people that went to Mars in this rocket ship. And it was led by a guy named Elon. This is the rocket that Elon wants to go to Mars with. But a couple months ago, he tweeted, I want to redesign it and make it pointier. They're mocking us. Okay. They're mocking us.
So the offer changes to jump in my terrestrial ship. We're going to go meet the people on the other side of the space wall or the Arctic wall. Like, would you take that? Would you, you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of a weird question.
Wouldn't you want to know? Like,
sure, I want to know, but they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell us. So why the lie? Why would they lie? Right?
I saw that slide. I didn't want to ask that. What? I saw you had that in your questions that everybody asks category back there. I didn't want to ask why would they lie. I just want to know if they offered you the opportunity to like see the other side of the wall. Would you say yes, or would you assume they were going to kill you?
I need the details. I need details, and like if they're trying to kill me, I don't know that.
Well, you can't say who's offering. You've been saying they this whole time. It's the same they, the great they, the preeminent they. You know what I'm saying?
As long as somebody important from their side was coming. Like we have a challenge to Neil deGrasse Tyson or any astrophysicist or whatever that we'll go, give us a spacesuit and put us in the vacuum chamber and take all the air out. It's never been done. They've never tested a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber. It would explode. As we all know.
Going around the South Pole that's it. Like if you could prove like Captain Cook did, you know what I'm saying? So if Captain Cook went around the South Pole and it took 60 fucking times longer than going around the North Pole, that's it right there. Like that's game over.
Yeah.
That was my biggest question. Like, so I mean, if that's true, and that's another thing is like you're basically telling me like I've been lied to my entire life. Everything I've ever heard.
Your entire life is a lie. Yeah. So,
but at the same time, I don't know if you're also lying to me. Well, like I gotta assume you're lying to me too, right?
That's fair.
Don't believe anything I say. Nothing. Okay. But these are flight routes. From Santiago, Chile, it goes all the way up to the East Coast, over to the West Coast, and then all the way down. And it's worse if you want to go to Western Australia. It goes all the way up here. It goes all the way over to friggin' China, Singapore, and down. Why does it do that? Why does it just cut across the bottom of the ball around the edge of Antarctica? And the answer is this, because on a flat Earth, if I wanted to go to Western Australia, look at the line. It goes all the way up across the United States, China, Singapore, straight line. Airplanes fly straight and level over an Earth plane. If you look at, the FAA manual, CIA documents, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
There's disclosed documents where they talk about, they modeled everything over a flat, non-rotating plane. Let's just talk about southern circumnavigation. This guy with this called the ZQ pilot, not long ago, a few years ago, said he's going to southern circumnavigate and win the world record. We're like, okay. And he had this whole way we can track him. He went from the North Pole over to Alaska, to California, over to these islands, and over to Santiago. Then he went here to the supposed South Pole, and he goes, oh, the weather was too bad. So he turned around, went up through Brazil, and went all the way back around. I'm like, all right, well, he didn't do it. They gave him the record for circumnavigation, for southern circumnavigation, right? That's not southern circumnavigation. He just literally made a trip around the pond, touched the flagpole, touched the pole, and then went back. There is no South Pole. There's a North Pole. There is no South Pole.
Yeah, wouldn't the South Pole also be magnetic? Why is just
Absolutely.
the North Pole
Compasses don't
magnetic?
work in Antarctica. GPS doesn't work in Antarctica.
I never really thought about that. That doesn't really make sense that only the North Pole is
only
magnetic.
the North Pole, right? And on a ball, how if you're down south, why is your magnet? Why is it still pointing north? It would be pointing into the Earth.
Yeah, you guys should focus more on that.
Have you ever? Has anybody ever made
the ballers have an answer for everything?
Has anybody ever made a spherical compass?
No, there is no such thing as a spherical compass.
Because then wouldn't it point like up and down, and instead of just round in a circle, it would be able to have like the third dimension to prove that you're pointing into the Earth, like you just said.
That'd
be wild, dude. You got people, you could back that. Somebody should make a spherical compass, because then
he's got 4 Bitcoins,
dude. Then you go to like Montana and you see where it's pointing, and you go to the southern tip of Texas and you see it's pointing way further south.
Do you guys believe in the space station?
Al Harris.
I mean, my whole life's a sham. So apparently, I get paid for nothing. So like, doesn't matter.
Harris makes parts for the space station.
Well, so good. You're right. Your life is a sham. The NASA is a job program.
That's a fucking joke.
There's so many. Wait, NASA, when they did the Saturn V rockets to the moon, they hired 100,000 different companies to make the parts. That way, everybody could say, "Oh, my grandfather, my father, whatever, worked on it." It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
So those parts just go in the trash.
Nothing goes to space. Look,
like the parts he makes at work just go right in the
trash.
No,
they might use them for something. That people that make satellites, the satellites, they all go up on balloons, right? People are like, what do you mean? NASA owns all of the friggin' helium companies in the world, all of the big ones, right? So there's a helium shortage. They don't want you to know.
That's why the Hindenburg happened.
No, the Hindenburg, because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to
because nobody else had helium except for the U.S.
Well, no, they demonized hydrogen, and then there's a helium shortage, so no one's going to start a dirigible company because that would.
Well, even at the time, all the helium companies were owned by the United States, so the Hindenburg used hydrogen and it exploded because the Hindenburg was we wouldn't give it to them.
It's a fake story. I mean, it was all done on purpose, but.
Wait, so that wasn't even real?
No, it wasn't real.
Was the Titanic real?
No, absolutely not. I mean,
I'm
not even sure something sank at this
point. Your whole life is a sham.
I told you. Everything is
Has everything ever happened?
The CIA, the head, I forget the names, Casey, whatever, the head of the CIA said they know their job will be complete when every single thing the American people believe is a lie.
Here's a question then. What has happened?
Great question.
He's got a slide. He's got a slide.
I got another question.
I used to think Sully landed the plane on the Hudson River, but that didn't happen either.
Jesus.
We've talked about that. We've talked about that on the show. Fuck that guy. I've never flown a plane in my life, and I think I could successfully land one on a river. It doesn't seem that hard.
But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. The whole story is ridiculous.
Even if it did happen, we shouldn't make this guy a hero. Any pilot could do that.
There should be a million pictures by people that live on both shorelines, and there's none. It didn't happen.
All he did was crash a plane.
No, he landed the plane pretty well. It was pretty good. It was a great story, but once you see Tom Hanks acting in a movie, you know that it's bullshit.
Denzel Washington fucking flipped the bird and landed it.
Yeah,
that was the movie Flight.
That didn't happen.
That was the movie
actually happened. Yeah, that wasn't real.
Yeah. So let me tell you why the lie. Why the lie? All right. So they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you're insignificant, that you're flying through an infinite, godless, or distant God universe where an asteroid could take you out. We're running out of fuel. We're running out of food. We're running out of water. All of that's nonsense. They want you to live in fear. Watch the news. Kim Jong-un's going to blow us up. Nuclear bombs don't exist. None of it is real.
What?
Because I'll explain. They don't want you to know that you are at the center of creation, that you are special, that you have powers, that your thoughts create your reality. Everything each one of you have in your life is because of the way that you think. Okay, that's it. And you bring your reality in. The only control the government has over you, the government. Govern is to control, ment is your mind. The only control they have you is in your imagination. If everyone woke up tomorrow.
That's why those boards work.
What boards?
Those like imagination boards where you like
they do
your future on them.
They do. I did that. I did that when I was just working in corporate America. I said I want to own my own company. I got my own company. I was
one day I want to be
my
on
own company, making tons of money, and I did it with a vision board. You're right. It does work.
The secret is real, bro.
And then I walked away from it all to talk to guys like you. Okay, Crazy story.
Whoa, what do you mean, guys like us?
Guys like you, like I like you guys.
Dope
man.
dudes.
Listen, I did a show called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. It was just like this. Okay.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's still online if you want to see it.
I've
Deep
actually
Inside the-
listened.
Wait.
Episode 1 out of 150 episodes is called 9/11 is Dave's Baby. Okay.
Oh
Dave's
yeah,
baby.
I'll listen to that
I mean-
tomorrow at work.
It's audio
Yeah.
only. You can pop an earphone in,
Yeah.
pull your hair over it, you're good to go.
Anything better than working, dude.
Yeah, I got you. And so they want you to feel insignificant. They don't want you to know that you're at the center of creation and that you actually have power. Imagine if everyone woke up tomorrow and goes, you know what, fuck the government. I'm not listening to them anymore. Well, what power would they have? They'd have zero
Anarchy.
power. We wouldn't even know who they were. They'd be like, get away from me, you flea, right? You know, they'd be nothing.
Hell yeah, dude.
They'd be nothing.
Hell yeah.
And so
Yeah.
people are just complying. We're going back into this craziness. They're going to have us with our face shame muzzles on again, and they're locking us down. Everyone go, fuck you. Go to work, go outside, and just move on, right? All of this nonsense would go away.
I
See,
agree
people-
100% that the coronavirus doesn't exist. The vaccine.
Don't say that. We love Dr. Fauci. It's going on YouTube.
Fuck Dr.
Right?
Fauci.
No,
He killed-
no, Dr. Fauci's the greatest doctor ever. He's so good.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a good thing
Yes.
he killed all those gay people in the 80s.
Yeah, no, don't say that. I want to put this on YouTube, all right? I want to put this on YouTube. We love Dr. Fauci. He's the best. Okay?
Yeah, I want people to get back to work so I could go camping and stuff, and people don't.
There
Try
you
to do
go.
that.
Nature
Yeah.
is the only truth. Nature won't lie. Nature won't lie.
Hell
to you.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. So
You think a bear cares if the Earth is a globe? You think a mountain lion cares if the Earth is a globe, dude? You're out there with just you and the lion, bro.
Right.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
I mean, go out, meditate, and imagine yourself spinning, twirling, and whirling and corkscrewing through an infinite space vacuum, and then clear your head and imagine yourself sitting on the foundation that doesn't move, where all of the luminaries in the sky are circling above you, and you're safe, and there's abundance, and there's power. It's a whole different world. Your whole spirit will lift. And then once your
Sounds like
spirit lifts,
DMT.
you can start to see. It is like DMT. By the way,
Yeah,
I've done
DMT
it.
is dope,
I've
bro.
done ayahuasca ceremonies.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Let me tell you something. This place is way more than they want us to know, right?
Yeah,
It-
shrooms will let you know that too.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
you know it, man. You know it.
I mean, I understand that, but
Drugs.
like, yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, man.
shrooms, they tell you that once your brain cells, they die over time. Mushrooms have what's it called? It's now I can't remember.
Psychotropic
Cow
properties.
shit.
There you go. No, not
Yeah.
not psychotropic. They have-
Nootropic.
They
Nootropic?
make your brain. Neurogenesis. They
Ah.
make your brain cells grow. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So getting away from all that. If you want to learn the truth about flat Earth, don't Google it because you're just going to end up at nonsense. You're going
What
to end
about
up at
Bing?
horribleness.
That's true.
My app is $2.99.
Oh, now here it comes. Here it comes.
Listen, I walked away from high six figures to do this because if we get our freedoms back at any point, which we may not,
Six figures.
how long can we hold on to it when the people that are controlling us know the truth of this world and we're lost in space, spinning out of control, not knowing our true power? So
How
for
many
two-
people know, you think?
But
well, it's growing fast. That's why they're going to flip the table soon. So get ready. This could be your last podcast.
I have a question real quick. I know that
Hey,
we
hang
covered-
hang on, Peaches. We will continue podcasting through the apocalypse. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, there you go.
Facts. All right, so I know we covered like the why lie, but like,
Yeah.
what about like why does it matter? You know what I mean? Even if it's a globe, if it's flat, like you have
It's
a
not the
limited
shape that matters.
You have a finite amount of time on this planet. That is a fact.
Do you?
Everyone lives. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
people
he's got
live
a
and then
slide
people
of how we
die.
don't really die.
Don't bust that out. But I'm saying like you have a finite amount of time in this earth. So like whether flat, round, fucking pentagon, some sort of 12-sided die bullshit. Like why not just like say fuck that? Who cares? And just
You're
do
just trying
what
to
you want to
smoke
do.
weed and get some pussy. and-
Well, so I
Well,
was like that. I was a good
sure.
person, but really, out kind of materialistic and
Yeah.
and I was good. I was helping people when I could and doing whatever and working and just part of the system. But then when I really started to see what this place was, life got so much better. It's like, like when I went into Flat Earth kicking and screaming. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I banned people from our social media for even suggesting that I watch a
I
Flat
saw
Earth.
I saw the CNN interview. I was just reading that where you're like, the last thing in the world I want to be is a flat earther.
Yeah, but the community that we have is amazing. We're having a conference in South Carolina in October called Flattoberfest. It's a 1 day's conference, presentations, and the other next day is literally like a music festival. If anyone can get to South Carolina, it's called Flattoberfest. It's going to be amazing.
Yo,
that's a nice name.
Yo, we'll do a live podcast.
Flattober.
Dude, I'm telling you something. So here, let me just finish on the app. I'm not in this for the money. If I was in it for the money, I would have stayed doing what I was doing. I was my own boss. I was making plenty of money. But the app's $3. The app costs me thousands of dollars a month to run. So that's why I charge for it. And it's a one-time charge. There is a subscription that you do not have to do. Just it pops up. There's no ad. Exit out. It goes away. And that's it. It only shows up once a day. Bam. You still get everything. It will show it. Like if you want to research Flat Earth, you can research for 500 hours and you probably get 2 hours worth of good content. On the app, 500 hours gives you 500 hours of awesome content. And anyone that's taken the challenge has not gotten the Bitcoins and they've all become flat earthers. So what I recommend is check it out. Just watch one video a day. Every day the app will go, hey, there's a new video up. A little message will come up, new video. Watch the video and go, didn't know that. And that's it. And then everything will change.
I could say it would be super easy to take you and do that path that you said. I mean, I don't know if it's in the capabilities of aircraft or whatever, but if they could just do that to you, why wouldn't they? And just be like, fuck off. Like, don't do this.
Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No, they won't do it. They
don't want to blow up the spot, dude.
They don't.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I will get my pilot's license. I will buy a fucking plane and I'll do it myself.
And it's just to prove it to you. You're not going to prove anything to Dave. It's just proving it to you.
I'm on the space station. It's so easy to fake shit. Okay.
Holy shit. Whoa. Have you been in space the whole time?
The whole fucking time.
The whole fucking time, bro.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's ridiculous how easy it is to fake stuff. I mean, if you look, we didn't even get into NASA. I mean, but if you catch them faking something in space just once, then you know that they've
done it 100 times.
They're doing it all the time, right? Check this out. Here's a lemon. Watch. That's not a real lemon. That's CGI object. Look, it goes right through his hand. Okay.
That was pretty crazy.
They make mistakes like
fake
this
happened
all the fucking time.
Why would they even bring a lemon?
They got it up. It was like, we got a fresh lemon on the Soyuz. They bring.
Guy's got a weird ass hand.
Yeah, no kidding. Bullshit. It's all screwed up.
Look at that.
They're caught hanging on wires all the time. They get tangled in the wires. There's CGI issues, all sorts of stuff. And then that's it. I mean,
what a load.
Once you understand that NASA is faking everything, then you can kind of unwind it. By the way, I became a flat earther before I realized that NASA was fake because I never looked into it. So there's so many things that they do that are just totally.
I mean, I think there is a good, whether you, and I'm just speaking to the people that are listening, whether you think this is all bullshit or not, there's a good message here, and it's definitely don't believe everything you hear or see.
Don't believe
think for yourself.
Verify yourself. Here's the thing.
Think for yourself. Not
everything
even verify.
I'm showing you, everything I'm telling you, you can actually verify. Nothing NASA tells you can be verified. Nothing.
Yeah, not without what they say is
and we catch them lying. We catch them lying. So you catch them lying, they're liars. Liars.
Lying liars.
Lying
liars.
On
fire, dude.
Lying liars.
Hell yeah, dude. So is this going on your YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, I'll put it up on it'll be on Flat Earth Dave Interviews.
Beautiful. So for anybody watching there,
it'll be in the app under interviews.
If you want to check us out, Dick Talk Podcast, Dick Talk Pod on Instagram, Dick Talk Podcast on TikTok. We put up funny shit. It's not always conspiracy stuff. We do dip into it a little bit because this is fun as hell. I love this.
Yeah. I will link your podcast, your wherever it is. Below the
all
video.
major
So anyone watching this video, check out the dicks.
Yeah,
he definitely had me towards the end.
Come watch the dicks.
See, I mean, these two, I'm not gonna lie, they were very skeptical coming in. I was like, just chill, listen, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just have fun. And I think this was a good time.
Listen,
I came in here to be educated.
Yeah. No, well, you know what? Listen, don't believe anything I said. I just pointed to a whole bunch of doors that you didn't know were there. Now you can go look at them. And listen, get the freaking app. Get the app. Dude. And the other thing, I'm adding a new feature to the app. It's literally going on like in 1 or 2 weeks where you can see, as long as you opt in on the app, it'll show you where all the other app users are. So you can be like out in town or like, hey, there's other flat earthers in my town, and then you can message.
It's right. It's like a grinder thing.
It is just like Grinder, except that we don't do each other up the ass.
Well, I mean, that depends on the person, right? Like maybe you'll get lucky.
Hey, you know,
No one is allowed to use my app for that. My app
Come on,
will-
dude.
My app
Now who's
will-
Big Brother?
my
Now
app
who's
you ever
will
want-
bring
if you want-
people
it's
together
like-
and babies will be born
Flat
because of
fuckers.
this feature on the app.
flat babies?
Flat
Okay,
fuckers.
I won't believe that.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, man. This was awesome.
Yeah,
That
this
was
is
definitely
good.
interesting. I definitely enjoyed it.
All right. You look, Adam. You look a little like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Look on your face.
Oh no, I'm fucking
he always-
stoned and
he
drunk.
always-
No,
looks like-
no,
Oh,
the
that's
machine.
good. That's good.
This is me, baby.
Hell
That's
yeah,
good.
dude. Well, again, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. We went like way over the optimal time that we had scheduled.
I
so.
saved a little extra time because I said these guys look like they're going to be an
Handful.
interesting conversation.
Hell yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, we should do it again. You know, I'll be in touch.
All right.
We could. This was tight. I really liked it.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you, buddy.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you. Have a good night.
You too,
You
man.
too.
Later.
Bye.